Kurama has returned, unfortunately, and Himawari is now a Jinchuriki without the sealing of the tail beast within her. Boruto continues to humiliate Kawaki while Juro wields a magical book. Enjoy watching. Chapter 89 of Boruto revealed a lot of interesting things to us. Juro and Hidari inform Hima that they can sense the chakra of the 9 tails within her. This surprises the 10th team, including Naruto's daughter. But Shikadai intends to stop the enemy and save Hima. Juro said that he remembered the guy, then pulled out a book and reviewed information about him. Apparently, it contains records about all of Konoha and more. Where this hint for the 10 tails came from is unknown, but the answer is likely obvious. This is information that Code had gathered. Speculating anything deeper is now scary after what happened with Kurama. After confirming, Juro says he doesn't want to harm anyone, just absorb Hima entirely, using a wood element. However, Inojin and Shikadai save the girl, and the 10 tails ends up in the shadow shackles, then uses his Rinnegan to do the tail beast bomb. But thanks to Chocho, the technique does not have time to complete and demolishes everything much before it reaches its target. But at that moment, I didn't understand where the technique was activated. Where Juro and the others were, everything was intact. So did the attack flew somewhere in the other direction? It's unclear. I'll wait for your opinions in the comments. Meanwhile, the frog informs Koji that Konoha has been attacked, and Boruto's new teacher says it's time to return to the leaf. But what interests us here is where they are located. Apparently, it's one of Orochimaru's abandoned hideouts. Talking about them cooperating with a serpent makes me uneasy after what happened with Kurama. At this time, our sleeping beauty named Kawaki wakes up and notices his so-called brother. He's so deep into believing Boruto is a villain that he himself starts accusing him of being allied with the 10 tails who arrived in the village. Kawaki's thirst to defeat the Otsutsuki blinds him, and he attacks Boruto. But Boruto easily dodges the pins, and even with his activated cybernetic arm, Kawaki fails, as the younger Uzumaki swiftly hits him in the stomach, putting his opponent on the ground. Boruto remarks that Kawaki should have spent more time training, which he skipped. Meanwhile, Delta is amazed at how much effort Boruto put into training, as he has become very strong. Kawaki uses karma, but due to resonance, Boruto's own arm begins to spread as well. Koji tells the boy to run before things get out of control, and in this scene, the authors hinted at two interesting things. First, that Kawaki is much weaker than Boruto, which means he'll desire power and likely do something nefarious to become stronger in the future. And during the first episode, on the destroyed faces of the Hokage, Kawaki had already done something bad, which allowed him to gain a new power. And secondly, that Boruto can't use karma because it seems Momoshiki is trying to take control, even in the first stage. This means that in the same first episode, when Boruto uses karma, one of two things happened. Either he negotiated with Momoshiki, who helped him in the battle against the 10 tails, or he suppressed Otsutsuki thanks to the Jogun, which we saw in the anime. But at the moment, the younger Uzumaki can't use karma because Otsutsuki is breaking free. So Boruto, due to the resonance, flees to prevent something terrible from happening. And most likely, he's heading towards his sister. Sarada and Sumire are also headed there. So, in the next chapter, we might see Hidari and his daughter meet. Hima herself is currently trying to escape on Inojin's drawn bird, and during the conversation with the 10th team, she enters her subconscious. It's the same place where Kurama was once sealed inside Naruto's body. There, she meets a small Kurama who is surprised that the 10 tails was able to sense chakra inside her. Also, he wonders if the girl knows who he is, and this is probably the most horrible thing that happened in the chapter. Why? Because it was the most obvious outcome of what could have been. Kurama died, he burned his chakra, and his soul left his body. Many speculated when he would be reborn, as we know tailed beasts cannot die, but many fans hoped this would happen closer to the end of the anime, and some didn't want it to happen at all. And all the tragedy of the character's departure was completely dispelled by his little appearance. Himawari could have simply, like brothers Kinkaku and Ginkaku, possessed Fox's chakra, but at the same time, the 9 tails might not have been sealed within her. Or perhaps, a new personality of the 9 tails could have formed in her subconscious, one that would be Kurama's daughter, the mythical Katsune. However, it is Kurama himself. Now the question arises, how did he end up in her? Most likely, the answer is very obvious: reincarnation. When the 9 tails soul left Naruto's body, it chose a place to restore its strength, and that place became Himawari. That's a very strange decision to me, because if the fox could choose where to be reborn, it could have been reborn within Naruto himself. In fact, Hima became a vessel for Kurama. I understand that this is all plot, but I hope there will be another option. And that Kurama, who was in Hokage's body, died, and his little version is a party left in Hima long ago. This is what happened with Minato Minato and Naruto, the Nine Tails divided himself, but in Himawari, he placed only a small piece in case something happened to him and Naruto. Then he could protect Himawari, but as I mentioned earlier, it's much simpler, and it's just the reincarnation of the Nine Tails, and Hima is a Jinchuriki without any seal. But I have questions. At what point did she gain this power, and is it related to the fact that she periodically awakened her Byakugan and used her super strength, then forgot about it, with the fox, or is it unrelated? But now it's certain that the power Damon spoke of was Kurama. Maybe you remember the excerpt from the chapter where Ida's brother attacked Hima because he felt immense power. So, at that moment, the fox was already inside her. But because of this, very ardent fans have a lot of questions. For example, how could the one considered the strongest in Boruto, referring to Damon, be scared because of a small Kurama? Well, many are unhappy that in the future, this little version will be able to confront the 10 Tails, also Code, who was considered stronger than Jigen, maybe even Kawaki himself, and other strong enemies whom Naruto, with full fox's chakra, lost to. Let's put it this way, Kurama's appearance really shocked me, and I'm waiting for answers on how he appeared inside Naruto's daughter, and how powerful he is. Is his chakra level the same as the adult version, or not? Or maybe he doesn't remember the past, and, in general, he's actually Kurama's son. So, we await the release of the new chapter, and I await your comments. Good luck to everyone.